Fear of public speaking, or glossophobia, is one of the common fears we might experience, with many surveys putting it higher up on the list for most of us than the actual fear of death. Thanks to the good old global pandemic and subsequently many of us now working from home and attending our company team meetings remotely, we have a new branch of that fear to contend with: Zoom anxiety. In this video, I'm going to break down what this is, why it occurs, and telling you what you need to know to beat it. So welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time, I'm Tim Box. I'm a mind coach, and for the last 13 years or so, I've been working with people to help them overcome all sorts of emotional and psychological issues, and in particular, helping them get control of anxiety. All of the one-to-one work I now do is carried out remotely via Zoom. Whilst this is convenient for myself and the client and enables me to help people pretty much anywhere in the world, many of us have a slightly different experience of working from home. Many of us are not just working one-to-one, but also having to attend group meetings, sometimes pretty large ones, from our laptop. This has created a whole new type of client for people like me, those that are experiencing a fear of presenting or speaking up in an online meeting. This can often manifest as a borderline panic response, with an increased heart rate, shaky hands, and a difficulty speaking, and sometimes even catching our breath. To explain why this happens, we first need to talk about public speaking anxiety in general. So there are a few reasons why we might fear standing up in front of a group of people to speak or present. Let's break them down one at a time. The first and perhaps most obvious one is that many of us have had negative experiences of presenting in the past. Very often I'll see clients who can vividly remember a time when they were at school and were asked to read something out. In some way this led to a negative experience. Perhaps we got it wrong and got laughed at. Perhaps we got it right but still got laughed at. Maybe reading something out in front of the class made us feel like we were in trouble and had been unfairly singled out. Or maybe we felt pressured by the situation and started to lose our breath and struggle. Whatever the reason, many of us can cite that negative experience from our past that caused a part of our mind to view any presentation as a bad idea that should be avoided. From that moment on, our mind has set up a barrier of fear and anxiety surrounding the activity, and whenever a similar situation arises, we start to feel those emotions taking over as our mind attempts to discourage us from proceeding. Another reason the fear of speaking in public is so common is because as human beings we are naturally seeking approval. We want to ally with people rather than alienate ourselves as a basic evolutionary principle. And this is why when we meet someone we might find ourselves altering the things we say or the way we behave to match the type of person we think we're talking to. We're attempting to gain rapport so that we can relate to each other and minimize any threat offered by this new unknown entity. When we stand up in front of a group of people, not only can we not gauge what every single person wants from us to regard us as an ally, but we're also very aware that everyone on the planet is slightly different. It's likely that whatever we have to say, whilst being accepted by some, will also be rejected by others. Put simply, I know when I stand up in front of 20 people, it's unlikely all 20 will agree with what I have to say. For this reason, a part of our mind, in an attempt to protect us from attracting negative judgment, will create a fear response to attempt to steer us away from that situation. The third main reason why we might fear public speaking is because we might just regard the physical experience as too unpleasant and threatening to be worth it. Whenever we attempt to do something our mind regards as important, we might expect to fill with adrenaline. A part of us is triggering an old genetically pre-programmed response from the days when important probably meant a life or death physical situation, like battling enemies or chasing down food. Now, filling with adrenaline when we're just sitting on our chair on a Zoom call can feel massively inappropriate and might even have us worrying that we're having a panic attack. When we shake in those situations, it's simply the adrenaline trying to get us to move in the face of threat. And because we're just sitting there trying to calmly present our ideas to the people in the meeting, we notice our body shake or our voice wobble. These physical responses are all perfectly natural. But as I say, it can make us think something's going wrong. Then of course the fear of imminent panic can take things to the next level. Check out my video on panic attacks that I'll link to at the end for the full explanation of this effect and how we shut it down. But the key point here is that at some point we might realize the main thing we fear from speaking in front of people isn't how well or badly we might present, but whether or not we're going to experience panic sensations in the middle of it. All of these three effects are inevitably exacerbated when it comes to a Zoom meeting. Sitting down at our desk means we get less of a chance to move and do something with any adrenaline that's building up, simply amplifying our focus on any physical sensations. Being remote from the room gives us less opportunity to see the faces of those we're addressing, leaving us unable to see if the things we're saying are being accepted or rejected, and exacerbating any fear of judgment or rejection we might feel. Perhaps the biggest extra weight that we carry when it comes to Zoom meetings is that a big part of us probably feels like we really shouldn't be struggling with this. We're not standing up in front of a room full of people. If we were, we might understand the nerves. We're just sitting here in front of our computer screen. Surely if people notice how nervous we are, then they will judge twice as harshly, because this situation just doesn't warrant any fear or concern. This is why I see twice as many clients for Zoom anxiety than I do for general public speaking anxiety right now. And often they're people that have never had any issues with speaking in front of people before. All the pressures of public speaking are still there, and with a few extra situational and technical concerns to pile on top of that. But for some reason, we beat ourselves up much more for struggling in an online meeting than we would if we were actually in the room. So what can we do about this? How do we beat Zoom anxiety? Before we jump into the solutions to Zoom anxiety, I'm going to pause for a few seconds to remind you that you can now become a member of the channel and receive extra content every week, including video tutorials of my full system for change with extra insights and exclusive weekly live Q&As. Just hit the join button on the homepage. Okay, in this section, I'm going to address the reasons we have the fear and give you some counter arguments that can help our mind let go of it, allowing us to engage in Zoom meetings with confidence rather than anxiety. So let's first deal with the physical sensations. Yes, you feel nervous. Yes, your heart is racing, your breathing is speeding up, your hands are shaking, and your voice is wobbly. No, you're not having a panic attack or a medical issue. You're having a natural human reaction to speaking in front of people and caring how the people that are listening will take things you have to say. Basically, you're alive and you give a shit. Yeah, that's fine. If you stop trying to eradicate this natural part of the process, you'll probably notice that these feelings pass fairly quickly. Watch the start of my TED Talk. You'll hear me talk about feeling anxious to share my ideas and worried about how they'll be received, and you'll hear my voice wobble as I do it. The reason I didn't then turn those nerves into a full-on panic, because I knew they were natural and I knew they would happen. As a result, after about a minute, my body started to relax as my mind accepted I was safe and got on with delivering my message. Nothing about those type of natural nerves is any different when you're presenting or speaking online. It's still you talking to a group and caring whether or not it goes well. If we allow those natural feelings to play out, then the adrenaline quickly dissipates as we get into our stride. Now, you might be thinking, but Tim, it doesn't dissipate. In fact, it just amplifies. Yeah, it currently amplifies because you think those nerves are unique to you and that they're an indicator of a weakness that you now have to hide from the people watching. Here's a secret. Everyone is nervous. Some hide it better than others, and some are just more practiced at public speaking and have learnt the adrenaline will quickly pass. But we all feel it. The day you stop feeling nervous before you present is the day you stop caring about what you have to say. Tiger Woods once said, if you don't feel nervous, that means you don't care about how you perform. The day I'm not nervous playing is the day I'll quit. But what about if we've had those bad experiences from childhood? That trauma, if you like, of talking to the class and it going badly. Well, here's the thing. Your mind is only using fear to try and protect you from similar negative experiences. And there are a few good reasons why this situation is vastly different to the old one. First of all, you're not a child anymore. You're probably much more capable of handling negative judgment than you were then. Social acceptance is no longer the life or death proposition it felt when we were at school. and the opinions of others are likely to be much more considered than in those days. Also, you no longer need the acceptance of others to fully accept yourself. As an adult, we're capable of appreciating who we are and what we bring to the table without having to fear that our own opinion of ourselves will be altered by the negative opinions of others. Another thing that's worth remembering is that whatever judgment we made of ourselves when we were younger, that judgment inevitably no longer applies. We've grown and evolved as an individual since then, and it might well be time to re-evaluate how we might expect to perform when we open our mouth to speak. This being a different time, a different situation, and a different version of ourselves means we can encourage our mind to adopt a different emotional strategy. The barriers of fear our mind puts up when we're young in order to protect us can often become like prison walls as we seek to grow and break free of those constraints. When fear is based on ideas and circumstances that no longer apply, it's time to let go of that fear. The final and perhaps most important idea that can allow us to let go of our fear of speaking in online meetings is that we can absolutely guarantee there will be people on that call that disagree with what you're about to say. You can guarantee that there will be people that just don't appreciate your input and don't get what it is you bring to the table. Now, that might sound like a reason to feel more afraid, but in fact, when you think about it, it's the exact opposite. Your fear is only there because you want to be accepted and you have no idea what the people on the screen like or dislike. You don't know what they're thinking or how to keep them happy. So how do you achieve this goal of making sure everyone likes you? The simple answer is you can't. It's impossible. But instead of treating this as a reason to fear, why not treat it as an opportunity to liberate ourselves from fear? Yes, there will be people that don't like or appreciate us when we open our mouth. By the same reasoning, there will also be people that do like and appreciate us. After all, different people want different things to make them happy. So if we accept some will and some won't, perhaps we can realize that no matter how well or how badly we represent ourselves, we won't make everyone happy and we won't turn everyone off. Once we let go of the desire to keep everyone happy, we can focus on what's important, making ourselves happy with who we are and what we're saying. If you're on a Zoom call being asked to contribute to the discussion, I can guarantee people want to know what you think, not just what you feel will make as many people like you as possible. Well, coincidentally, what you think is your specialist subject. It's your area of expertise. It's what you know and can relay without even having to think twice about it. So the final reason we can let go of any fear is that all we're being asked to do is to be ourselves. And that is something we simply can't fail at. And if the people in the meeting think your thoughts are worth sharing, then just maybe you can embrace that idea and recognize that your voice is worth hearing. I hope this video has been of help today. Let me know in the comments if you got some value from this one. Also, if you've overcome a fear of public speaking, whether that be in real life or online, then let me know in the comments how you did it. Before you go, please hit that thumbs up button if you like what I do, and why not subscribe to the channel for weekly mind management tips and anxiety advice. But that's it for now. I'm Tim Box, Mind Coach. Always remember to be kind to your mind, and I'll see you next time.